Hi everybody, Jack Forster, Global Editorial Director for the 1916 Company, and we are here at Watches and Wonders. It is day 2, and the booths this year are pretty amazing. And that's the show, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry. This is not really about what's in the booth. You can have a booth that's your favorite booth because there's some really fantastic watches there. You can have a booth that's just an incredibly cool booth. And some of my favorites are the Ulysse Nardin booth. Has about, close to a 20-foot tall head of Ludwig Oeschlin, who's the guy who designed the Ulysse Nardin Freak. And you don't realize it at first, but the eyes actually kind of follow you around. So the whole head moves, but extremely slowly. It's like a sort of creepy Wizard of Oz. It's pretty fantastic. Another really fantastic booth this year is the Panerai booth. They have a giant water tank, and it looks like it's absolutely, completely filled with water when you see it for the first time. But then you realize you can actually walk through it, and there's bubbles going up around you, and it really feels like, a wonderland under the sea. I think one of my favorite booths, though, and this is a booth that's one of my favorites because of what's in it, is the Vacheron Constantin booth, which has the Quête du Temps automaton, which is a very, very large, extremely complex automaton clock. They are actually doing tours which let people see it and see a presentation about how it works. This clock was only visible to people who went to the Louvre for several months. That's where Vacheron launched it, and it was actually exhibited there. So incredible creativity, very, very refined booth design, some absolutely fantastic stuff to see. I haven't had a chance to actually see a tremendous number of watches in person yet relative to the number of press releases that have come out. But some of the stuff that I've been really impressed by come from some fairly different brands. So first, brand Seiko did something really interesting. Last year they launched the UFA, the ultra-fine accuracy spring drive movement. And it was launched in a fairly dressy watch, and this year, much to everyone's surprise, this actually came out in a dive watch. So we have a dive watch that's accurate to plus minus 20 seconds per year. It's the most accurate spring drive that's ever been made, and phenomenal achievement for them. Another thing that I thought was absolutely fantastic came from a very different company. It came from Patek Philippe, and Patek Philippe has launched quite a few novelties this year. To me, one of the most impressive ones is the Celestial Sunrise Sunset complication. Now, Patek has done sunrise sunset complications before, but only in pocket watches, and it's a very interesting fact that they've never actually done a sunrise sunset complication in a wristwatch before, and they have done it in a very unique way. The Celestial is a watch that shows the position of the stars above the horizon. It shows you the moon's age and phase, but it also shows now for the first time the time of sunrise and sunset as measured against a disc which also functions as the date disc. And the coverage for this watch is already up on the 1916 Company Journal. Very much worth reading, I think. I mean, I wrote it, so I would think that. But it's an absolutely ingenious piece. General trends this year at Watches and Wonders, well, it's difficult to generalize because there's so many different brands occupying so many different price points. I would say that if there's a general sort of feeling at the show this year, it is one of an appreciation of classicism. There's a little bit less flash than I've seen in other years. There's a little bit less, sort of dramatic, over-the-top introductions of, high visibility, high cost, and even, high jewelry pieces. There's a lot of appreciation for classical watchmaking and kind of a return to classical watchmaking values. I think that one of the most surprising, unexpected, and genuinely interesting releases, and again, this is another technical story, but it was from Tag Heuer. And Tag Heuer came out with a new watch called the Evergraph. It's in a Monaco case, so they're a classic square case from the late 1960s. And it has a new chronograph control system. Now, to put this in context for you, the only two control systems that have existed for most of the history of watchmaking for the chronograph are the column wheel and the lever and cam system. And that's basically it. Any chronograph that you can think of ever since the first chronographs were produced in the middle of the 19th century have had one of those two systems inside. The new system from Tag Heuer is something that really could only be manufactured using modern materials and modern fabrication technology, but it substitutes for the many parts in a typical chronograph a single piece of flexible architecture structure, which allows you to start, stop, and reset the chronograph without having to use any of the highly complicated systems which preceded it. It's a real revolution in watchmaking as far as these things go. A new chronograph control system, I think, was not on anybody's bingo card for the show because I'm most excited for the next 3 days to see the brands I haven't seen yet. I'm very excited to go over to the Vacheron Constantin booth and actually see the Quête du Temps in action, the automaton clock. Very, very excited to have my appointment with Patek Philippe and see the Celestial in person. I'm very, very excited to see all of the complications, all of the simple watches that I haven't had a chance to see before. And also the show is a chance to reconnect with people in the industry who I really only see once a year. And having come to this trade show for a couple of decades now, I've formed very close friendships with people just on the basis of encountering them once per year. And one of the best things about the show, honestly, is the watches are amazing, but catching up with old friends is fantastic. And that's day 2 of the show, ladies and gentlemen. If you'd like to follow along and keep track of what's going on and all the new releases, please follow our YouTube channel. Also, please check out our community on the 1916 Company app. And you can read all of our in-depth coverage of all the technical, artistic, and design advances in watchmaking on the 1916 Company Journal at 1916.com. See you around.